Searching for happiness or running away from suffering. It is clearly true that people run about throughout their life, either searching for happiness or running away from suffering. The futility of searching for happiness or running away from suffering. Look carefully and you will recognize and agree that this best describes your habitual behavior. If you contemplate on this actuality, you will perfectly understand and can verify what kind of shallow life we have led so far. You will gain a new perspective on the nature of your life. In truth, every moment in life is basically about running away from suffering. We have been running away from suffering from the moment we were born, and we will continue to do so until the day we die. Since the moment of birth, when we were thrust out of the safe haven of our mother's womb, we began to understand the continuous suffering inherent in life. Leaving the safety and security of our mother's womb as we were pulled through the darkness and into the unknown, ushered in the beginning of the soft and hard suffering we would encounter from then on. Of course we cried. Who wouldn't? It was after a nurse cleaned and swaddled us that we could feel safe and warm and would be able to stop crying. From then on, we recognized change, and we experienced suffering when things change from relative comfort to discomfort. When the discomfort overpowered the comfort, we began to cry again. We began to understand that when we cried, we might be able to change things and eliminate the distress. For the most part, that worked. Often, a nurse would come in and rearrange things so that the distress disappeared. Once we were comfortable again, we would return to our peaceful sleep, seemingly far away from the world of suffering, and we would stop crying. Clearly, from the moment we were born, every one of us has gone through all the techniques of running away from suffering. And as we grew older, escaping from suffering became easier. We were able to walk, run, drive, go places on our own and take care of ourselves. We didn't have to cry for help anymore. And that fueled the fantastic misconception of life is about searching for happiness. We began to make plans and to follow our dreams, our wants and needs without ever doubting that if we pursued the quest for happiness, we would someday find it. We never noticed how we were enslaved by something inside us that kept ordering us around. And if we didn't do what it demanded, we would be punished. We would feel unhappy. We would feel sad. We would feel bored and weary. We would feel frustrated and confused. This is because we feared feeling miserable. We conformed to our misaligned idea. And now I would like to turn your attention to your own personal life. Just recognize that throughout your life, needs, be it real or false, were always in the forefront of your mind. You never stopped. You never had enough. Your mind is still struggling to find the precise sights, tastes, odors, sounds, and the touch of something or somebody that you prefer. We should come to be able to see that we have always been a slave to ignorance and wanting. Our lives are manipulated by unseen hands that keep pulling our strings behind the scenes. When we followed these directions, we would feel like we were going to find that elusive happiness that we craved. But when we managed to attain a bit of what we were seeking, did we find true happiness? Stick with me and we'll find out. Let us go back to the moments when we did not want or need to do something. Right then, the mind was in its normal, proper state. There was no struggle to search for anything. Then all of a sudden, a feeling of boredom began to set in, clouding the mind with restlessness. Immediately, we experienced suffering. We tried very, very hard to relieve this suffering because we wanted to escape from this misery. We began formulating plans, where to go and what to do. And then we finally came up with some easy answer. We wanted to go to the mall. When we went out, we felt better. But actually, we didn't feel happier so much as relief from the discomfort of the boredom. After spending some time wandering around outside and feeling like we have had a good time, boredom paid you another visit. Now you wanted to go home. The impulsive notion that we would have fun in the mall suddenly turned sour. This is a constant and continuous cycle that plays out in our life. We thought that we would be happy and stay happy once we left the boredom of our house. But that all turned around and we ended up feeling happier at home than outside. We were deceiving ourselves, thinking that what we found was happiness, when in reality it was merely a slight hiatus from the suffering that is stalking us at all times. You can try this experiment on yourself by staying at home alone for a day without going anywhere or talking to anyone. No cell phones, no Line, no emails, no Facebook, no internet and no YouTube. Nothing except for the necessary personal chores, such as cooking, eating, washing the dishes, walking with awareness of the present and sitting with the awareness of the present. You'll meet the fact that life is generally utterly boring, and you see yourself wanting to find something to do to quench that boredom. Trying to run away from boredom is the same as trying to run away from suffering. It cannot be done. Still, in almost every moment, we struggle to escape suffering and boredom. When we escape for a moment, we mistakenly believe that we found happiness. Everyone in this world has fallen under the same cycle of boredom since they were born. However, rather than seeing this, our wrong way made us think that we have always had happiness. Happiness that is based on trying too hard to catch on to it is a happiness that is dictated by desires and wanting. That happiness is on fire. The fire of restlessness will always burn you. How can this sky of scorching happiness be called happiness?